It's going to be a piece of the ballroom after we all blow it up. That's Larry Krasner, Philadelphia's district attorney. He said it Tuesday at a podium on video. He wants the rubble of President Trump's White House as a paperweight. And the next thing out of his mouth involves a dynamite plunger with Trump's name on it. Quote, an official ceremony, just so we're clear, Krasner's words on video, at the annual slavery commemoration at the president's house on Independence Mall. He took a memorial to the enslaved and turned it into a demolition pep rally. This is the man who decides whether the carjacker in your neighborhood ever sees a courtroom, and his imagination is parked 140 miles away. So stay with me because I'm going to roll a full clip. The dynamite plunger, that line, the plan to sell the rubble. And then Attorney General Todd Blanche's on-camera answer, word for word. Now, Krasner told a crowd exactly what Democrats do the moment they regain control. And folks, they say that about your money too. We've got midterm elections coming up with control of Congress on the line, and markets hate uncertainty. Uncertainty breeds volatility. Between now and November could be the most volatile stretch for stock market and our economy we've seen in years. Now, here's the good news. Noble Gold Investments has spent over a decade helping everyday Americans protect their wealth with precious metals, physical gold and silver that you can hold to hedge that volatility. It's simple, easy, and safe. Go to nextnewsgold.com or call Noble Gold at 877-646-5347. For America's 250th, mention my name and get a free 10-ounce silver bar when you open a new qualified account. Don't let Election Day arrive without a plan, because Krasner already made his. So we're talking about 10 to 15 years. That's Krasner's timeline once Democrats, in his word, regain control. A prosecutor tied the destruction of a federal building to an election result. Now take a look at what Patriots Online caught the second that he said it. Here it is. This is the post that is going viral. The Philly DA Larry Krasner said this.
And I'm going to have a paperweight sitting on my desk. You know what that paperweight's going to be? It's going to be a piece of the ballroom after we all blow it up. That's what it's going to be. In an official ceremony, just so we're clear. In an official ceremony, we're going to blow it up, and we're going to give the taxpayers their money back by selling all the pieces as paperweights, and I will have one on my desk.
Wow. What a jackass. That's what he said. So, Attorney General Todd Blanche got asked about that quote on Fox. His answer, the ballroom's being built and Krasner should worry about his own city's crime.
I'm sure you know the Philadelphia District Attorney Larry Krasner. He was talking about the ballroom, the President Trump's ballroom. In a press conference yesterday, the headline said, Philadelphia District Attorney says, we're going to blow it up when discussing Trump's White House ballroom. Obviously, I hope he was speaking metaphorically. When do you think that this will get resolved so that the ballroom can be built?
Well, the ballroom is being built, and it's disgusting that a district attorney in Philadelphia, who, by the way, has a city with its own problems, is so focused on what the president is doing at the White House. And by the way, and so that's something we're continuing to litigate. The ballroom is being built; it's not stopped, and the Supreme Court issued the stay, which allows us to continue to do the work. And this isn't just about a safe, secure place for the president and his family and world leaders. It's also a national security issue, which we've been talking about now for months and months and months. And the fact that you even have a local district attorney, instead of focusing on his own city's problems, his own city's crimes, talk about, quote, blowing it up is reflective of how divisive and unfortunate the Democrats have made this issue. But yes, we're going to continue to build the ballroom. President Trump has promised that to the American people, and we're going to continue to back him up in court to make sure that it can get built.
All right, Mr. Attorney General, thank you for kicking off our 10 a.m. hour. We appreciate it.
So, that is the Attorney General Todd Blanche calling it disgusting. The headline he was reading from. Christopher Tremogli at the Washington Examiner landed also on Fox. He wrote an article about the Philadelphia District Attorney saying we're going to blow it up. And it was cited on Fox, as you can see there. Now, Blue Lives Matter has him at the podium at the president's house site, calling President Trump the embodiment of hate. Let's see here. He says he stood at a podium, talked about blowing up the White House ballroom so he can keep a chunk of it as a paperweight. Soros-backed District Attorney Larry Krasner said it on Tuesday at the annual slavery commemoration at the President's house on Independence Mall. He said it's going to be an official ceremony where we blow it up. He also called President Trump a pain in the ass and the embodiment of hate. This is the same Soros-backed DA whose office has spent years treating violent crime in Philadelphia as a social experiment. He's supposed to prosecute people who actually destroy property. Instead, he's daydreaming about an official demolition of a presidential construction project and treating rubble as a trophy. The city's chief law enforcement officer talking like a demolition crew is not a punchline. It's a warning about who's running the courtroom in Pennsylvania's largest city. This guy should have been put behind bars years ago. So a sitting DA talking like a demolition crew, and the money behind him is not secret. Nearly $1.7 million in Soros cash. Soros-backed Philly DA Krasner vowed to blow up the White House. In about 10 to 15 years, I'm going to have the paperweight sitting on my desk. This is the soft-on-crime prosecutor who got nearly $1.7 million in Soros money. Now he's fantasizing about demolishing a presidential building in a public ceremony. This will be the unanimous 2028 Democrat position. So the watchdog makes the point nobody in Philly wants to hear. He was standing at a memorial to the enslaved while shopping for souvenirs. At a ceremony remembering the enslaved at George Washington's presidential house in Philadelphia, the city's DA sketched the next decade. Trump's ballroom will be gone, blown up in an official ceremony. The rubble sold as paperweights, and Larry Krasner gets one for his desk. He writes, yes, that tracks, standing at a memorial to 18th century bondage, excitedly planning 21st century demolition. The prosecutor, who can't hold his own city together, is already shopping for souvenirs from a building that isn't even finished. Can't fix Philadelphia? Fine. Schedule a fireworks show at the White House instead. History isn't a teacher here. It is a gift shop. Real America's Voice caught the part that got cut. Krasner wants President Trump's name on the dynamite plunger.
And I'm going to have a paperweight sitting on my desk. You know what that paperweight's going to be? It's going to be a piece of the ballroom after we all blow it up. That's what it's going to be. In an official ceremony, just so we're clear. In an official ceremony, we're going to blow it up, and we're going to give the taxpayers their money back by selling all the pieces as paperweights, and I will have one on my desk.
He suggested Trump's name could be put on the dynamite plunger. How do you like that? Linda Favilla says it plain this should end his career. He said the Democrats regain and they're going to demolish the ballroom. The rhetoric is escalating. This should end his political career and he should be put behind bars. But Democrats are above the law. Let's get his take.
This is a Soros-backed attorney in Philly.
You know what that
Listen up.
It's going to be a piece of the ballroom after we all blow it up. That's what it's going to be.
He ain't done. He ain't done. Wait for it.
In an official ceremony, just so we're clear. In an official ceremony, we're going to blow it up, and we're going to give
Leftists and violence, hand in hand.
By selling all the pieces as paperweights, and I will have one on my desk.
One more angle, same quote. Cyrus notes Krasner played it off as a joke. Says Trump's future White House will be joke. Okay, let's see if there's more.
And I'm going to have a paperweight sitting on my desk. You know what that paperweight's going to be? It's going to be a piece of the ballroom after we all blow it up. That's what it's going to be. In an official ceremony, just so we're clear. In an official ceremony, we're going to blow it up, and we're going to give the taxpayers their money back by selling all the pieces as paperweights, and I will have one on my desk.
So Todd Blanche, he didn't blink. It's disgusting that a district attorney in Philadelphia, who, by the way, has a city with its own problems, is so focused on its own, who, by the way, has a city with its own problems, is so focused on what the president is doing at the White House. That's the Attorney General of the United States telling Larry Krasner to go look at his own homicide numbers. So do your job, Larry. Prosecute the carjackers. Nobody in Kensington is waiting on your paperweight. And here's the part that has to sting a Soros-funded DA who took nearly $1.7 million to get that office. The ballroom's going up right now. The Supreme Court cleared it. The crews are pouring concrete while he workshops punchlines about a dynamite plunger. Every hour he spends dreaming about rubble, President Trump builds another wall that he will never touch. So share this with one person and send it to somebody in Philadelphia who thinks this man is an actual prosecutor. And tell me in the comments whether you buy that was just a joke, because he told me exactly what his part does with him, in power, and I believe him. So Krasner said the quiet part into a live microphone. And you should never have to hope an algorithm shows you a clip like that. Text White House to 844-840-4963. Next News Network holds credentials inside that building. What our people pull from those rooms hits your phone nightly, whether or not YouTube feels like distributing this video. Then ask yourself if reading is really enough anymore. Text Signal that same number, enlist in the Next News Signal Corps, take real missions, rank up, and push stories the legacy press pretends never happened. Time to get in tonight, Patriots.